Hi guys, welcome back. My name's Ash and today I want to talk to you about the 6 things I like to do to reset and prepare myself for a new year. So we are officially in December and there is just weeks away from the new year, from 2025. And if you're anything like me, or if you're an organization girly, then you get a little surge of energy at this time of the year because you're thinking about the new year and what it's going to bring and starting a fresh new chapter and having a blank slate and what are the goals you're going to set and what version of you are you going to show up as next year. And it's just like, you can basically start fresh and that gives me so much excitement. So today I thought I was going to use that excitement and share it with you guys and talk about some of the things that I like to do to prepare myself for a new year so that I'm going into it feeling ready, feeling energized, feeling prepared and excited. It's just going to be like a little chit chat, you and me sitting down talking about New Year's, not New Year's, but like the new year. So step 1 is going to be very obvious to a lot of people, and that is to reflect on the past 12 months. So I have been on top of my monthly recaps this year, and that means that at the end of every month this year I have been writing down my highs, my lows, what I'm grateful for, what I'm proud of myself for accomplishing, the things that worked well, the things that didn't work well, the habits that I want to kind of leave behind and the new habits that I want to set. And I did that incrementally over 2024 to try and kind of keep myself accountable and incrementally improve, like personal improvement throughout the course of the year. And that worked really well for me. And I can kind of see what manifested for me, what kind of worked really well, what I achieved, what felt good and what didn't. So that would be my recommendation is step 1, reflect on the last 12 months. What goals did you set for yourself that you smashed out of the park and you're super proud of? What goals did you set for yourself that you didn't get to, and do you feel upset about that, or do you feel kind of relieved about that? Like, now is the time to kind of reflect and evaluate the type of person you were at the start of this year, since technically we're still in 2024. Are you still that same person? I'm gonna bet the answer is no. So maybe some of the goals and things that you set for yourself and the things that you wanted from this year, they're just not you anymore, and maybe it's time to let some of those go. So I feel like that is a big part of reflecting and just reevaluating where you're at and who you are now. Okay, step 2 is setting some more aligned goals for the year to come. So again, super obvious, but you've done your reflection, you've done your reevaluating. Maybe there's some things you needed to let go of, maybe there are some things that you didn't get to and you want to bring them forward into this year and take them seriously. There's certain things like that for me. For example, YouTube. I posted one YouTube video last year and I had that as a goal on my list and I didn't invest much energy into it. It just wasn't the year for it for me, but that is a goal that I'm carrying over into 2025. I want to show up more because this is such a big goal for me and it always has been. But then there are other things on my 2024 goals list that I'm probably not going to continue and bring over because they just don't align with me anymore and the human that I am today. So what I like to do with this, I have a few tips. One is, if you know what your core values are, set your goals in accordance with those values. So values is in and of itself such a powerful thing to know and to find out. So if you don't know what your core values are, I highly recommend going and doing some kind of exercise, some kind of online quiz or something so that you can get a better understanding of what your core values are. And then once you know that, you can start to set goals under the umbrella of each of your core values. So for example, and I literally have everything in my phone notes, so I'm going to be looking at my phone a bit. So for me, my core values are health, relationships, spirituality, business, finances, and creativity. So I have set goals under each of those headings for the next year. And in doing that, I'm living in accordance with my top core values, and I'm going to find deep satisfaction from my life by doing that, rather than looking at someone else's goals that they've set in accordance to their values and trying to mimic that or replicate that and then just having it not feel like me because it's not my values. So I've set some like about 1 to 5 values tops under each of my core values, and they're not big goals. Like I'm not saying they all have to be like monstrous goals, because that's a lot. That is a lot of goals. But I've set things like under health, for example, journaling 2 to 3 times a week. This is something I'm carrying over from last year. Journaling definitely wasn't taking the front seat last year. I feel like that there was just a lot of reasons why it wasn't really calling to me, but I want to make sure that this becomes a weekly practice for me. So that's coming over. But as I said, like it's not a big goal. Like that's 3 out of the 7 days. That's a pretty achievable goal. Even if I just pick up and write 3 things that I'm grateful for, I'm going to count that as journaling. And then there are some bigger goals, such as finance goals, like setting a savings amount for this year, or things like meeting a particular weight range. For me, I'm wanting to really focus on my iron levels, because that's been a bit of a issue area for me, problem area this year. So healthy iron levels is something that is on my list, and it is quite a big goal, but it's also something that I haven't put any sort of measurements around. It's just within the healthy range, which I guess there is a number count to that, yes, but it's also for me more about how I feel in myself energetically every day. Do I have the energy to get through an entire day without feeling like an afternoon nap? Those kinds of things. So setting goals in accordance to your values is an excellent way to just make sure you're living according to your values, that they feel aligned for you. Okay, so once you've set your goals, number 3 I have is creating your vision board. I love vision boarding. I am such a huge fan. I've been doing it for years now, and every single year, without fail, I am blown away at how much comes true. Like by just having a vision board, the energy that goes into you sitting down, finding the images or the words or the affirmations that resonate with you, and then bringing that all together. And there's a word I was looking for and it starts with C. Collating, is that the word? Collating all of that into a vision board, like just propels you forward for the year. It makes you feel so energized. It makes you feel so excited. There are things on there that you're going to manifest and you're going to bring in and you're going to attract. And what I like to do is align my vision board with the goals that I've then set. So if I've set myself some goals, my vision board is going to reflect that, and it's going to bring a visual image to the goals so that I can see it and I can start visualizing that so much easier. So there are so many ways to do a vision board. Like literally, you've probably heard of that term by now. Vision boarding is just taking a collage. Maybe the word was collage. A collage of basically all the photos and all the affirmations and little bits and pieces, and putting them all together of things that you want in the next year, and the things you want to manifest. And then you put it somewhere and you display it proudly, and you put it somewhere you're going to look at it every single day, and it's going to remind you that this is your goal, that is your dream, that is what you're working towards, and it's just constantly there, and you're constantly having it feed into your subconscious mind. And it's a brilliant way of manifesting. So personally, I like to do a Pinterest board first for 2025, and then I just pin a bunch of photos and I match it up with my goals. And then once I'm ready, I head down to Kmart, I print off all the photos that I want. I get myself like a board, like a frame, and then I just get busy collaging, putting them all together. I might show some bits of this, I don't know, either over on Instagram or I'll vlog it somehow. And I just put it all together, put it in the frame and stick it up on my wall, and like I'm looking at it here and it's just stunning. Like that's it there, but it's just, so that is is that 3? Yeah, that is step 3. Okay, step 4 is a really quick and easy one. Well, it's kind of easy. It's going to be easy to tell you, but it can sometimes be harder to actually do. That is choosing an energy for the year. So I've seen someone do this a couple of years back, and I just really liked the idea of it, and I've kind of just adopted it for myself. And that is to choose one word that encompasses the energy for the year that you would like to create in your life. So that could be anything, any word. that basically encompasses the energy that you want to bring into the new year. So what I like to do with that is, once I've reflected on last year and maybe last year's word, then I've set my goals, I've made my vision board, I can take a step back now and I can look at both of those things and I can kind of get an idea of what word really encompasses everything that I'm trying to build for that year. And I don't rush this step. Like I said, it's a quick step to explain, but I don't want to rush it, because what's going to happen is you might just want to choose a word, or you might feel really overwhelmed by the amount of words you can choose from. But I feel like every year that I've done this, my subconscious mind has just told me, like, it's just come to me in the most random moment. I've set my goals, I've set the groundwork, and then I'm just having a passing conversation with someone at the coffee shop and they drop in a word and I'm like, whoa, that word. I feel like that word is my word for the year. So I feel like with this step, it's just kind of a get your bigger picture, take it in, and then set the intention. What is that word going to be for me? And just let it find you. Oh my gosh. Step 5. Step 5 is, now this one is for my book girlies. This is for my book reading girlies or boys, whoever you are. If you're an avid book reader like me, then this step will also resonate with you. If not, if that's not you, feel free to skip forward to the last step. That is so fine. But for my book readers, every year we set our two things: our book reading goal for the year, so how many books we'd like to read for the year, and our yearly TBR. And for those who don't know what that is, a TBR is a to be read list, books that you would like to read in that year. So I do both of those things. I set my reading goal by looking at how many books did I read the last year, and do I want to stretch myself? Do I want to stretch myself a little bit, or do I feel like that was really hard for me? I want to repeat that goal and see if I can get it more easily this year. I don't think I'm going to increase my book reading goal this year. I think I'm going to maintain it. And it was 50 books for the year, which I have achieved already to date. And the year's not over, so we'll see. But I don't think I'm going to push myself for next year too much more than that. Okay, and then my book TBR, I'm sorry guys, I'll get through this one. I can talk about books till the cows come home. So my 25 books for 2025. I was talking to Bestie Jem from work, and we both discussed that we are going to break down our 25 books for 2025 into 5 groups of 5 based on genre. So I'm going to choose 5 books for crime, 5 books for fantasy, 5 books for romance, 5 books for self-help, and then this year I'm going to keep 5 books free as a free pick, because last year I chose 24 books for 2024, and the person that I was, again, at the start of the year, and the books I chose for that person was just not the same, was not aligned by even midway through the year, and then definitely not at the end of the year. So I'm not going to make that mistake again. We're not making that mistake. We're going to leave 5 free picks, and I feel like it's just much more digestible to have like 5 crimes, 5 fantasies, 5 romances. Like it just feels so much neater and cleaner, and I love that for me. So that is what I've done. I've nearly filled this out. I've got a few spots to fill, and then I am set for 2025. Okay, so the last step that I do to get ready is I like to do a yearly tarot spread, and I like to get my yearly solar return chart. So for me, that's really easy. For those who don't know, so this is astrology we're talking about. Your solar return chart is basically your 12-month prediction from the date of your birthday for the next 12 months. And it's going to give you insight into what to expect for the year to come. The major themes, the major challenges, the things that are going to be like highlighted for you and more important for you that year based on the energy of your astrological chart. So my birthday just happens to be in January, so I like to do my solar return chart around this time, get it booked in. So getting a solar return chart is really easy for me because my mum's an astrologer and I get it done through her. Obviously, if you're not familiar with astrology, it's a little bit harder to read. So in that instance, if you're not too sure, I would recommend getting like a fully explained chart, and it kind of goes through everything for you. But I love to do that, so that's always booked in. And shout out to my mum. Thanks, mum. You are the MVP for solar return charts and anything astrology. And the other thing I love to do, like I said, is a yearly tarot card spread. So that is just one card and one clarifier for every month of the year, and it just gives me some insight, gives me a little overview, a little suss on what the year is going to be, what the energy carries, and I love doing that. I love doing that, and I love reflecting each month in the year, like what did the tarot cards say this month was going to bring, and like how did that work out and how did that play out for me. It's a bit of fun. So that is another thing that I love to do. And I just kind of do that towards the closer we get to New Year's, because like starting to get into the energy of that new year. So yeah, those are officially the 6 things that I like to do to prepare myself for a new year as a bookish, wellness, spiritual girly. And if any of those resonated with you, or if you do any of those things yourself, I would love to hear about it. Like, who is in this club with me? And if any of those things you'd never heard of and you want to try them out, then this is the year to try them. So please take them, share them around, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next video.